Okay, so in this week's Lost, Jack gets to meet Flock in the jungle, and he tells them all about what he is, how he takes over dead people's bodies, and how he took over Locke's because Locke was a sucker who believed his destiny was on the island, and because Jack was nice enough to bring his body back to the island. Flock, you're a total asshole. Anyway, Jack asks him about how he saw his dad wandering around and how he chased him in this kind of really creepy way and asks if that was him. And Flock says, yeah, that was me, but all I was doing was trying to get you to water. All I've been interested in doing is helping you, even though, I told Ben and Locke to move the island, which caused Charlotte's death and which inadvertently caused Juliet and Daniel's death. Okay, we go to the Flash Sideways timeline. Locke and Ben are being all cute in their ambulance, and Ben's rocking out his little cardigan sweater. Dr. Linus, I want to do so many bad things to you. Let's change the subject. But Locke's talking about how he wants to marry Helen Norwood, and okay, if he dies in this timeline, I'm gonna be pissed, y'all, because he's finally got a good life, and we've already watched him die like 3 different times. I don't need to see this again. Anyway, Sun gets rolled into the hospital, and she looks over at Locke and starts freaking out and saying, it's him. Hope maybe she went back to the original timeline, so he took away her English and just being an all-around creepy dude. Oh well. Anyway, go back to the original timeline, and we get to meet, and then Jack and Claire finally reunite after 3 years of absence and after finding out they're brother and sister, and it was Awkward Fest 2010, and it was rockin'. Anyway, go to the Flash Sideways timeline, and Sawyer is interrogating Kate, and all the skaters get their little happy moment while the rest of us are barfing up whatever we were eating. And then luckily Miles shows up to save us from the mind-numbingness of skate. Anyway, we go to the original timeline. Zoe says that she needs to have Locke or else she's going to send bombs all over the island to kill him, even though, he's made of smoke and kind of indestructible and can impersonate dead people. He's going to eat your little bombs for breakfast. Anyway, go to the Flash Sideways timeline. Claire is trying to meet with an adoption agency. Desmond's just being this real creeper, showing up trying to help her and saying, oh, you should meet my lawyer. You should totally have a threesome with us, and I'm not going to drug you if you don't want to. Oh well. And then we find out the lawyer is Ilana, and she has an American accent. And I didn't really have a reaction, whatever. But her last name is Verdinsky, and a lot of us heard it as Verdinsky and started freaking out. Good job, Lost Riders. Good job. Anyway, so we go back to the original timeline. Sawyer tells Jack of his plan to escape and to only bring Hurley, Sun, and Lapidus, and to leave Saeed and Claire behind because they're both nuts. And then Flock goes over to Saeed and says, I need you to go where I've got Desmond. I want you to kill him. Saeed, if you've killed Desmond, I'm done with you professionally. You shot Ben last year. It was not cool. That's you started going down on my coolness meter, and if you've killed Desmond, I'm done. But anyway, he goes to the well, and he's getting ready to shoot Desmond, but because Desmond's so hotty-scotty awesome, tries to tell him, if you get her back, she's going to be kind of gross and moldy, and you're going to have to tell her that you killed a bunch of innocent people. So Saeed was convinced, I'm hoping. Anyway, so in the Flash Sideways timeline, Saeed goes to Nadia's house and says, oh, I can never come back, I have to leave now, I totally did not just kill 4 people, and he runs out. And then Sawyer, being the total badass that he is, takes a garden hose and trips him and arrests him. Kids, if you kill people with dishwashers, you will be tripped by garden hoses. Poetic justice. And then every family in the world was considering going out and committing crimes so that she could be arrested by James Ford. Anyway, so go back to the original timeline, and Jack asks Claire if she trusts Locke. She says, yeah, because he's the only one who didn't abandon me. Even though, I totally just left my son out in the middle of nowhere, and I followed him to this creepy cabin. And she's just saying, oh, Jack, you're not going to abandon me again. You're not going to abandon me, right? And he just goes, yeah, of course not. Not! And he tells them about the plan to leave, and Claire just watches them in this really creepy way. And so they get to the dock, and Claire raises a gun at them, and Kate manages to convince her that she was never supposed to raise Aaron, and that Claire's supposed to raise Aaron, even though she has this really creepy skull baby, and she's just a total sack of crazy right now. Oh well. Anyway, going to the Flash Sideways timeline, Jack and David are talking to David's mom on the phone. Who is this? Really, this is driving me nuts. I'm thinking it's Juliet, and then she can meet Sawyer, and they can have their little coffee date and live happily ever after for us shippers. Yes. And then Claire and Jack get to meet in the Flash Sideways timeline, and it's Awkward Fest Part 2, and it is still awesome. And then Jack gets a call and says, yeah, I just found out that I have a half-sister from my bastard of father. Well, I'll totally operate on this guy. Yeah, I'd hate to be the guy in that situation. Anyway, go back to the original timeline. Sawyer and Jack are talking on the boat, and he's saying, well, this doesn't feel right. I'm a man of faith now, and if Locke wants to leave, if this fake thing wants to leave, maybe we shouldn't leave. Which is actually a pretty good point. I'll go with you on that one, Jack. But Sawyer's just like, get off my motherfucking boat, which Jack does, and it's pretty comedic to watch. And then Kate goes all emo to Jack, and we have to go back for him, and it's just kind of yawn-worthy. Anyway, we go to the Flash Sideways timeline, and and Son and the baby are totally alright, and it's so cute to see. I'm so happy about that. And Jack is getting ready to operate on Locke, and he says he recognizes him, and then they cut off the Flash Sideways. Damn it. So we go to the original timeline, and after 3 years, thousands of stupid subplots, 2 seasons that we just needed a Son and Jen reunion like 3 years ago, and it finally happened, and it was so adorable. My heart just, I think, exploded in that moment. It was so great. But I kind of thought for a second they were going to get their brains fried, and it really freaked me out. Thank God. But then this Zoe bitch is just like, oh, well, the deal's off with Widmore, and I'm going to be all tough with my gun now and try and shoot you all. God, can this bitch just die in a fire or something? That would be completely awesome. But they start sending bombs to the other island, and Flock is such a badass that he just walks away from it all and picks up Jack, and he's just like, oh, don't worry, you're with me now. Huh? Oh well. So, pretty great episode. Next one is titled The Candidate. I think it's Jack and Locke centric. I can't wait. It should be pretty awesome. Alright, I'll be here next week. Thanks, guys.